how much should you be paying for rent? Ayaw din nilang mag-schedule ng viewing? Likely, scam yan. Ask about everything. Pag basta-bastang mag-sign. Honestly been one of the best experiences of my life so far. So, you're in your 20s or your early 30s and you're finally ready to move out. Congrats! Finally, ito na. Kaso di ka sure kung saan ka magsisimula? If so, then this video is for you. Hey, it's Riki A, and here's how to actually move out. Philippines edition. So, you're a young Filipino who wants to move out but you're not sure where to start? Honestly, I don't blame you because the concept of moving out did not become popular until very recently. Studies show that a lot of Filipino millennials and Gen Z are now prioritizing their career growth and financial independence amid an unstable economy. With that desire for financial independence comes a desire for general independence. Social media has also popularized a lot of related concepts to this, like double income no kids or dinks, moving out of your parents' home, and the solo living life. And with the recent oversupply of condos in Metro Manila, you can be assured that this is not going to change anytime soon, and now's around the best time to do so. Moving out can be a great opportunity to experience independence or co-living with your friends, partners, or others. But I think yung pinaka-common na rason for moving out, especially in the Philippines, is to live closer to work. We all know how bad the Philippine commute and traffic situation is right now, and it's only incrementally getting better, as in incrementally napakabagal. Whether you're reporting fully on-site, you're part of the majority who are now reporting to a hybrid work setup post-pandemic, or fully remote, moving out can be most beneficial for your increased productivity and focusing on your career goals. It's been a year since I moved out, and it's honestly been one of the best experiences of my life so far because I got to understand myself better, I'm getting to experience being independent, and with that, I'm learning how to balance responsibilities and focus on my priorities in life. My perspective is rooted in Metro Manila, Philippines, as this is where I'm based. But regardless, I'll do my best to make the advice as applicable to everyone in the country as possible, particularly in my age group, which is 20s to around early 30s. So with that, thanks so much, and let's get started. Number 1. Set your budget. Unang-una sa lahat, magkano ba budget mo? And how much should you be paying for rent? This varies from person to person, but in my experience, I've set aside 1/3 up to 1/2 of my salary for paying rent. This could vary whether you're a breadwinner or not, or depending on how many things you're trying to pay off at a time. So if you're an average corporate worker in a chief business district like Makati, BGC, or Ortigas, these are what we call CBDs, then you're probably making around 32,000 pesos. That's just an estimate, but that would be around 10,000 to 15,000 pesos for your rent budget. Or if you're working minimum wage, that's around 19,000 pesos. Then your rent budget might be somewhere around 6,300 up to 9,500 pesos. May malaking pinagkaiba sa dalawang budget range na ito, but don't worry, there have been an increasing amount of options depending on your budget level, especially in the recent years. There are a lot of budget-friendly professional dorms around the areas of chief business districts. Some examples include MyTown Co-Living, Point Blue Flats, Stay, City Flats. Condo sharing has also become popular, which is the setup where you share a condo space with multiple roommates, the amount of which would vary on your location and your budget. On the other hand, if you have a bigger budget, then there are a lot of condo developers and condo developments scattered across Metro Manila that you can choose from. Generally speaking, the closer you are to businesses, the higher the rent prices. Rent prices in Metro Manila vary greatly, with the rent rates in the chief business districts costing far greater than the rates in their neighboring cities. But consider, the money that you put into your rent is not the only thing you have to pay for. You still have utilities, bills, and other things in your budget, like food. Pwede mo rin kasing gamitin yung excess money sa ibang parts ng budget mo. If you can afford a little extra commute while still saving on time, I would recommend looking at neighboring cities like Mandaluyong, Guadalupe, and Quezon City as options. In that case, you'll want to choose a place that's accessible and commute-friendly. So check for access to commute terminals, a safe and secure neighborhood, and accessibility to basic necessities such as groceries, karinderya or mga convenience store, mga mabibilhan ng tubig, etc. On the topic of budget, let's say you found a nice place but it's a little above your budget and you want to, say, negotiate for a lower rental price. Here are some things that I've tried and that have worked for me in the past. Number 1, I let them know my situation. Agents and landlords can be kinder than you think as long as you're honest about what you do. I admitted that I was supposed to have a roommate that dipped on me or hindi na pala siya makikipag-room sa akin sa current kong landlord, and with that, nagkaroon ako ng discount sa rent ko. Speaking of discounts, number 2, find a way to put a discount on your rent by combining it with your Wi-Fi or your other utilities. This normally works for me since landlords get the bills delivered to their place anyway, so it's more convenient for the both of us. It can also be a huge opportunity for you to save since Wi-Fi can cost 1,500 plus and water bills cost 50 to 200 pesos. And number 3, I say that I'm looking at other places. This is risky, but it works especially well if you already have more than one favorite in your list of places. When I'm viewing, I imply this by saying that I've come from other viewings, have others to go to, or I'm also looking at other places. But be careful. If you know your unit is in demand, then I wouldn't risk this because they'll probably go to somebody who's more willing to pay their price. Number 2, choose the place where you want to live. Where you want to move will be influenced massively by your work setup. Here are some questions that you'll want to answer while choosing a place. Is your work on-site, work from home, or hybrid? Will you be commuting or driving to work? Where is your office or main area of activities? What are your work hours? If you're working fully on-site, you might prioritize walkability and accessibility to the office, while if you're working fully from home, you might prioritize a good internet connection and community. Meanwhile, if you work hybrid, you'll want a little mix of both. Then, if you're moving out with someone else, you can also consider the following questions. How many roommates do you want to live with? Are you comfortable living with other strangers, or would you prefer to live with other people you know? And do you have pets or children? Choosing a place is a very personal process, but answering these questions can help double down on places to look. Once you've chosen a city, you can look for specific developments by physically going to the area. Particularly in Metro Manila, you might consider commuting to or driving to that city and then looking at the developments, since a lot of the developments around here are high-rise and they all look very different from each other, so they're easy to spot. Personally, this has worked very well in my experience. I tried commuting along MRT3 and I went to Bonnie Station, and upon going down, I simply looked around. And there you have it. You can also search for properties straight up online using platforms like RentPad, Lamudi, or most popularly, Facebook Marketplace. I would recommend looking at RentPad or Lamudi to get a good estimate of what rental prices look like in a certain development, and then go to Facebook Marketplace to get a better idea of what specific properties cost there. I also use Carousel. You can also go straight to the development and ask their property management office or PMO if they have a master list or database of available units for rent or lease, and then you can contact homeowners directly to ask if they are available. However, don't underestimate the power of connections. This is actually how I landed my first and my second places. I simply asked people where they live. This gives you the best idea of the pros and cons of a place, especially the cons, which will be important in the next step. Number 3. Contact landlords and agents. It's time to set the timeline for your condo/dorm/house hunt. If you can, set aside a full week for viewings or at least full dedicated days to look at your ideal places to rent. There are 3 common people you'll encounter while trying to find a new place: agents, brokers, and homeowners. Agents and brokers are the most common. They work with homeowners to find tenants or buyers for a place while the owner is gone, and they work on managing the premises. The main difference is agents are commonly freelancers while brokers have licenses. I've found that they're quite common around here, and a lot of the homeowners that I've encountered are actually overseas Filipinos or OFWs. But they also help homeowners who are generally too busy to manage their unit, whether they're overseas or not. Homeowners, on the other hand, are, well, the people who bought the unit. While agents and brokers are easy to deal with, do note that the rental rates may be higher when you work with agents, as they get a commission from the monthly rental rate. This is why you might see properties being posted online by more than one person, where one copy might have a higher rental rate price posted. The agent's price is normally the higher one. Agents and brokers also commonly manage multiple properties at a time, so do consider that when you're contacting them, not only for viewings, but to manage issues and repairs. That being said, working with agents is common and can be a positive experience, as they can help to keep both you and your landlord accountable to doing your parts. Just be wise and mindful about who you work with. I personally work directly with a homeowner right now, and I can say it's also been a positive experience because I can contact them directly about issues, and we have a good renter-landlord relationship. Regardless of who you work with though, it is very important to make sure that you are working with someone who is legit and not a scam. It's very easy to get scammed while house hunting. So here are some tips that I would give to make sure that you're working with a real person. Number 1, profile. Pag sinerch mo ba sila, may ibang mga profile sa ibang social media site na yun din yung picture at yung pangalan? If they're a broker, reverse search their broker license to ensure that they're legit. Number 2, listings. Do they post about multiple properties or consistently about their properties? And are the photos that they use in the listings HD? If the photos are very low quality and their captions don't reveal enough information, like no contact numbers and not enough details about the unit, then that's probably a scam. And number 3, availability. Did they give you a phone number through which you can call, and nagpe-pick up ba sila? Kung hindi, scam yan. Syempre, baka din busy, pero kung maraming beses na silang hindi nagpe-pick up ng tawag at ayaw din nilang mag-schedule ng viewing, likely, scam yan. Again, make sure you're working with real people, and not just that, but professionals. Number 4, view your places of choice on site. After contacting the agents, brokers, or landlords, you'll likely go on unit viewings. Unit viewings are usually 15 to 30 minute visits where you get to visit your place of choice with the assistance of the agent and or the homeowner if they're available. Important! At this point, you've both established legitimacy. Legit pala kayong pareho. Kahit gaano kabait yung nag-a-assist sa'yo, don't forget na binabentahan ka na rin yan. Kaya kahit anong itanong mo, matatamis talaga yung mga salita na bibitawan nila. Nonetheless, here are some questions that you should ask when viewing a place. 1. What makes this place vacant? When was the last time it was occupied? If it's been a long time since there was an occupant in the unit, there's probably a reason why. And kung matagal na, then likely a lot of the furnishings and appliances haven't been touched or maintained in a while, so do proceed carefully. Number 2. Where is the homeowner? What do they do for work? Personally, if their main income comes from leasing properties, then I usually expect them to be easier to reach out to, but stricter with upkeep. Meanwhile, kung abroad sila, then expect that you'll be working more with the agent or the broker to manage the property, and ask how you'll be coordinating on things like repairs. Number 3. What is the target move-in date? If they want you to move in ASAP, ask them why. Personally, I prefer when landlords have a flexible move-in date because it gives them the opportunity to repair anything pending in the unit and move out old furniture left by previous tenants. And number 4, is anyone else checking this unit? If it's in demand, you'll have to adjust your decision-making time, especially if you like the place. But like I said, words will only go so far. So aside from asking, pay attention as soon as you step into the premises. Once you get into the unit, simulate living there. Simulate? Hindi, pero seryoso. First, try moving around the kitchen, bedroom, bathroom the way you would if you were living there. Second, turn everything, and I mean everything, on. Test them and keep them running. Check the condition of all fixtures, appliances, and furnishings. Lastly, like I said, ask about everything. You see cracks on the walls? Ask. You see stains on the carpet or under the aircon? Ask. You hear stomping from the next door or the upstairs neighbor? Ask. Look under the rugs, check behind couches, check inside cupboards, ask about everything that's weird. These are also the places that a lot of people miss when they're looking around. The reason this is so important is because this will show you things that maybe the landlord or agent is too shy to tell you about. So things like neighbors, pest control, issues with the aircon or with appliances, and especially with high-rises, issues with the units and the facades of the building. Number 5, choose a place. Ito na. Guys, nasa huli na tayo. Let's circle back on the things that you should be looking for in a place again. 1. Location. Maganda yung location. Accessible siya sa commute mo at sa mga basic necessities. 2. Budget. Pasok siya sa budget, including association dues, utilities, and other bills. 3. Pet-friendly or family-friendly if applicable. 4. Communities. 5. Renter-landlord relationship. You are working with a credible and trustworthy landlord or agent or broker. All the stress is finally over, and it's time to settle the contract. Di pa tapos. Mamaya pa tayo magpapahinga. Make sure to go over it thoroughly, and if possible, go over it with an attorney to make sure you don't miss out on anything. Kung wala ka namang attorney, okay lang, basta siguraduhin mong nabasa mo na lahat. Huwag basta-bastang mag-sign. Make sure that the following are clear. 1. What you can do. 2. What you can't do. And 3. The rental fee, security deposit, and advance. Yes, magkakaiba po yun lahat. Ang rent yung binabayad mo kada buwan, or it's the monthly rental rate. The security deposit is a non-interest-bearing amount that you deposit to your lessor to ensure that they can pay for anything unpaid at the end of your lease, like bills or damages. And the advance is typically 1 to 3 months worth of rent paid forward to ensure that you're actually gonna be moving in and hindi ka nagjo-joy reserve. By the way, the security deposit is not meant to replace your rent in any way and will be returned to you after the expiration of your contract. Particularly, it will be returned in full if you don't have any unpaid bills or damages left at the end of the contract. So do your best to be a good tenant during your stay. From here, the landlord should take care of any repairs to the unit while waiting for you to move in. And as for you, you should take care of signing the contract, reviewing it, and also filling up any tenant information sheets needed for the reference of the property management. All this aside, you can sign the contract and you're good to go. Have you thought of moving out, and have you already tried looking for places? Comment your experience down below and let's talk about it. I feel like it's not talked about enough. As always, consider leaving a like, a comment, and subscribe to see more content, particularly young adult podcast episodes from me. Thanks so much, you guys, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!